Um, what do you think is the steps out? You know what I mean? I know I looked at my experience and, I destroyed my marriage. So there
Wow.
wasn't anything to fix, but, I took that experience and got whole and got my mindset straight and, relationship connection back with God
Amen.
and knew every single falter. I'm like, that's not coming in my marriage. That's not coming. You know what I mean? And let's go on down the line. Fortunately, I had to learn by hard knocks, which is a
Right.
shame. But how do we get out? How do we get out, brother?
I mean, I guess any kind of battle, you gotta know your enemy.
Uh huh.
Know your enemy, man. And sometimes your enemy is the enemy, right? The enemy is my enemy. When I look in that mirror, sometimes it's me.
Yeah.
And the same thing, we gotta stop pouring in what's right. We have to surround ourselves with brothers, sisters, keep us accountable. I don't need you to be my friend. I need you to be accountable to my brother. To
Hmm.
tell me what I'm right. Tell me when I'm wrong, right?
Yeah.
If you love me, you will correct me. We're gonna need around, especially men. We're gonna need around a bunch of yes men. We don't need that. We don't need that. But know your enemy. Realize, go through Book of James. Realize every man is led away by the lust of the flesh. So as you go to the Lord, just and go back to discipleship and devotion. So we a lot of times we are reactive. I'm in trouble. I need you, Lord.
Hmm.
Versus proactive. Lord, let me spend some time with you every day. Every day, I'm not a wordsmith. I don't know all the words, Lord, but I do know I need you. So help
Yeah.
me learn how to study. And so we do. So that's the first thing I said. Know your enemy. Know your enemy, because sometimes it's the enemy, and sometimes it's their inner me.
That is so good. I
Um,
never heard that before, brother, but that's
man,
gonna stick.
and then we just gotta, like you said earlier, we gotta start renewing our mind.
Yeah.
Just because this might not be your vice, but you lie. In big corporate America, you in sales, but you steal.
Hmm.
God's not pleased with none of that.
No. Right.
So, even as we're learning through this walk, sometimes there might be some jobs you can't take. If you know where you are, you're fragile in your marriage and things of nature. You might that could be a traveling whatever that role calls for, and you being away from your family. You have to put that before Lord. Lord, my family, my walk with you is above everything else. You will take care of this family
Yeah.
because it's your family. You just give me some. I manage what you give me. I don't own any of this mess. I
Right.
only manage what you give me. So I don't think this job, okay, honey, will pay us 20, 30, 40, $50,000 more, but is it worth our marriage and the sanity of our children?
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's not worth it. So I guess it's a long answer to a short question.
Yeah.
Know your
It's
enemy.
good though.
Know your enemy.
Yeah. I think looking back at my life and all that stuff, um, I think just the overall intimacy in general with people was lacking, and so it's easy to settle for a cheap substitute if you're not connecting on a deeper level with
Mm,
people, with God,
yeah,
and with your wife, and so it's easy to fall for these cheap substitutes. Somehow along the way it becomes, because the disconnection, this fantasy becomes easier. You know what I
right.
mean? Because you've drifted apart, you've done so much, and there's this guilt and shame, you got all these things, and you're not talking. Of course you're not talking. Like we like, you got all this stuff,
Right,
buried
right.
buried deep down. So it's like, I don't even know what the question is on that, but I see the progression and I see how
Yeah.
it happens. And I think doing the work for intimacy in all areas is the key.
You know what? A good brother. I don't know him personally, but I've followed him, and he was in the same scenario. He had lost his family and things of that. Actually, had an affair with someone in the same ministry with him. But he said, you know what? Things you thought you'd never do. He said, sin has no conscience.
Hmm.
And I was like, wow, because things you thought you never do, you would do in sin.
Oh,
Thing,
right.
because it starts going and going, and it has to grow. And like what he
Progressive.
said,
Yeah.
once it takes heat, it grows. You give birth to it in James. You know what I'm saying? And then once it grows to be an adult. So when I heard that sin has no conscience, I stopped saying stuff I would never do. I said, through God's grace, God keep me that I never do.
Hmm. That's
That's
good.
my response. Because God, keep me that I would never do this to hurt you and hurt my family. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Nah, because I know I'm, you know, people say, Walter, you think you have low self-esteem? I said, no, I have high sin awareness. That's what I have.
mhm.
I know me. So
Yeah.
I don't have low self-esteem. I have high sin awareness in my life that I'm daily trying to kill it.
Yeah. That's
You know what
awesome.
I'm saying? Yeah.
I do. Yeah, I'm with you, brother. I want I want the good things. And I strongly believe in sowing and reaping. And I
Amen.
know that, as you sow to the flesh, you reap corruption. But our master has given us a certain way to do things, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna accept his view and opinion because he knows. And I like the results, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because I've tasted the nasty fruit. That stuff is nasty. You know what I
Right.
mean? The results, the shame, the guilt, the
Right.
frustration, the destroyed marriage, blah, 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 blah. I'm gonna do it his way because I want to experience. He knows. He knows.
And and think about it, he gives us order, and we buck against the order, but the order
Right.
is there for a reason. So you think about
For
men.
for
We're
us,
men.
yeah.
We're males, and then from that we become man. You think about order: male, man, husband, father. That's
Mhm.
his order.
That's
Now we
good.
have premarital sex. We have kids out of wedlock. We do all these other things, and the reason he has it because you're learning something each step. I'm learning something myself as a male. Just because I have a penis and stuff does not make me a man. That makes me a male.
Mm, that's good.
My anatomy makes me a male, but my responsibility, how I deal with stuff, makes me a man. How I make these choices. So when you understand yourself as a manhood, what does a good steward look like over finances? What a good steward looks over, how's my credit? How's my name as a man? Before I even take on the responsibility of a husband,
Mm,
then you learn that man. Then you learn different responsibility as a husband, and then here comes the next piece. You got to learn a father. Now I got to lead
yeah.
differently.
Mhm.
So he put it in that order for a reason. We just wanted to do our own thing.
Yeah.
God, you're keeping me from having fun. No, I'm keeping you, showing you order, so you'll lose your mind. So you're losing
Right.
out on you're losing all on your time as being a single man because now you have a child.
Mm,
Doesn't necessarily mean you want to marry the mother. Don't
right.
necessarily mean that you want to be your wife. Now you're torn. Oh, I don't want to have a broken family. Do I go ahead and marry her knowing I don't love her? I
Mm,
lusted for her. I didn't love her.
yeah.
But or do I go ahead and I had this child, now deal with that drama piece and truly now walk with the Lord and find another woman. Now, this woman that you want to make your wife has to deal with this responsibility of this child. And now she has to struggle with the mental thing. Is something still going on between them? So all these things happen because we're out of order, right? Because we're out
Yeah.
of order. But he puts things, and like my mom used to say to me before she knew I was having sex in high school, she was like, well, you never miss what you never had. So he said, if you wait till you get, I mean, if you wait till you get married, it's a good period. This is woo, it's new, right? but but that's why he
Uh,
put things in order, man.
yeah.
Because he loves us and he knows what's best for us, and so now we have to learn. We're learning how to love through blended families. We're learning how to love through all these other things. Now we have to walk with our wives through these processes, whether it's children before us marriage or heaven forbid children after marriage, and she decides to stay with you, and now all you got to walk her
Yeah.
through her mental challenges through this process because of our sin.
Yeah.
It was to make it sound nice, say bad choice. It was sin.
Yeah. No, I hear you, brother. Oh, I hear you. I think I'm just thinking about you're talking about the evolution or the growth,
Right.
and at first you're kind of very dependent and you depend upon everybody else and you're childish and everything's about
Right.
you,
Right.
and we're supposed to kind of progress, in this phase, but many men still get stuck like we're 20, 30 years old and we're still like the centered
Right. Right.
self-centered, you know what I mean?
Right.
We don't
Yes.
progress to this, this interdependent man where we're giving of ourselves to our spouse and to our children. And
Mhm.
that's like the ultimate progression, is to
Right.
give. So
Right.
it's awesome, brother. I love it. Love it. Man, so
No.
I'll close this out with give us you talked a little bit about it, but if you could say like one thing that ultimately makes a man, like what would you say?
Makes what?
Makes a man.
You know what? I have my quote right here.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull it off my wall here. It's by Dr. Vodi Bachman. He said, "A man is the head, master and leader of his home, and there's nothing he can do about it. He will either lead effectively or he will lead poorly, but he will lead. A
Mm.
man's failing to lead is actually a man's leading in failure."
Ooh.
And that sticks with me because you're going to lead because it's a
Mm.
part of your role. You can't get
Yeah,
away from it because you
that's
don't want
good.
to. And
That's
that's
good.
my thing. I would say a man's failing to lead is actually a man's leading. We're leading in failure.
Mm. That is so
So,
good.
yeah, man, that I keep this at my desk at work just to keep me focused. Like, you know what? I'm the head of my home, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Hmm. That's
I'm going
good.
to lead them successfully. I'm going to lead them poorly, but I will lead them.
That's good. If you're listening to this podcast right now and you're struggling in this area, this is what I would ask you to consider that the measure of a man is taking responsibility,
Yes.
and that is looking to God for the empowerment because He will empower you to do the things that He asks of you. And
Yes.
so it's just a simple submission that, yep, his view and opinion is right. And I'm going to seek his power to carry this thing out. And that is how you're going to overcome. And then also
Mm,
surround yourself by like minded people that are
yes.
doing the same thing that you can be honest with, authenticity, integrity, and just be raw and real with. So,
Awesome.
anything you'd like to add to that, brother?
Nah, just there's hope, brothers.
Yes.
God loves you enough not to leave you trapped in it, and we can't dictate the way He frees us. And that's the part I think we struggle with. We think it's supposed to be this way, and it could be a totally different way. It's Him freeing us,
Mm,
and sometimes we have to get back when we hate the sin. Not
mm,
like, oh yeah, I was like, no, I hate the smell
yeah.
of it. It
Mm,
disgusts me. It costs me so much. So just we'll pray that God will deliver you.
yeah.
I don't want Him to give you peace in your sleep. I don't. I would
Yeah.
love to say, hey, God, I want God to deliver you from this
Yeah.
and to make you whole in Him, whatever way He sees fit to do it.
Yeah.
So don't get bitter with Him.
Yeah.
Just know He loves you.
The greatest deception you just touched on was, so this hatred and disgust for this thing that's ruining your life. The greatest
Right.
deception is that it's good, right?
You're
And
right.
so it's like, this looks tasty, this looks, something appealing, and it's like, this nice shiny little apple, but underneath there's worms, and you bite into it and it's like nasty, so, I know, since fruit tastes nasty and we got all these negative consequences, just take our word for it. Don't suffer anymore, brothers. Come on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All righty, man. I appreciate you so much, man.
Hey, brothers, if you ever just need prayer or just build, just want to build you up, man, you can reach us at our email. Currently, our website is coming up, but our email is leadingwhilebleeding@gmail.com. Again, that's LEADING, leadingwhilebleeding@gmail.com. Give us a call at 281-545-3758. Again, 281-545-3758. Or you can catch me on Facebook, Walter Hagens, or at the Marital Journey for You dot the Marital Journey for You on Facebook and Instagram.
Awesome. All right, brother. Thank you so much, man.
My
Appreciate it.
pleasure, brother.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
Bye.